I really like our new theme song, guys.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. That comes thanks to Daniel Key. He's a long time Reality Breached contributor. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to the first episode of Reality Breached Live. I am your host, Sergio, or as my little tag here says, Serge. This is the first time that we're doing this via Twitch and doing it live. So, yippee. With me today is, I'm going to say both of my best sidekicks because no one else is here. So, I've got Reed Walker. How's it going, Reed?
Going good. How are you?
And I've got Alden Kirkland. How's it going, Alden?
I'm doing well. I love being the Robin.
Yeah. Like, you get to choose which Robin you are.
That's tough.
Good question. Which Robin?
I'm not Stephanie, so
No.
I'm not Stephanie. I'll be any Robin except Stephanie.
I'm gonna vote for Reed just to be Dick. He's Dick.
Dick Grayson.
No, just Dick.
No, just Dick.
Just Dick. Well, this is the new format of Reality Breached, and this is still going to be a podcast, but we're going to do it live on Twitch, and it's also going to be archived over on YouTube, and we're also going to have the normal podcast feed. So, however you wanted to subscribe to us, feel free to do it. You can subscribe on Twitch by pressing one of the Twitch buttons over. You can subscribe on YouTube by going to YouTube. And once we have the feed up and running with a couple of episodes on it for the podcast, I will make sure that is published. But all of our old content is still live on our old feed. So if you want to check out where Reality Breach came from, feel free to do so. But you don't have to, because this is a fresh new start. There are no inside jokes. We are starting from scratch. So I guess the first thing that I have to ask is, how's it going, guys?
I'll let you go, Reed.
Oh, no, not it.
Not it. Things definitely are going, for sure. Things move and they do things like that. That's about all. I mean, Dead Scene Kids still exist. If you guys, for people that don't know, Dead Scene Kids is a side. It is my main podcast that Reality Breach is powered through. It is powered through Reality Breach, I guess, with my best friend Hunter, who is currently on the Twitch stream. It's the only comments we have. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Taking lots of pictures again. Concerts have begun. I am started to take pictures again. That is going.
Yay!
That's good for your soul. So.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. What about you, Reed?
Oh, the passage of time is still occurring, so I'm good.
Something real big happened to you while we were gone.
I heard you went to New York. That was pretty big for me.
I heard you went to New York. That's big for you.
Sounded awesome. Sounded really cool.
It was. While we were gone, I dyed my hair to look like you. Does it work?
You're even a brighter spot than I am.
No, what I'm alluding to is Reed is now betrothed. Betrothed, is that a thing, or is that when you're engaged?
I think that's the engaged part, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Reed is tied down now. He's a married man.
Yay!
Sorry, ladies.
He's taken.
Uh-huh.
This This person's taken. What's that from? What movie is that from?
I was just about to ask, what is that?
Forrest Gump. This seat's taken.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's what he says to the ladies, and when he's in town, he's just like, "This seat's taken, ladies."
So Reed, did you guys how did you do the commencement? Because as it turns out, I was invited to your wedding, but I also had another wedding to go to, which I didn't know they were on the same day. I thought it was Saturday and Sunday, but it wasn't. It was Saturday and Saturday.
Well, it happens. It's all right.
So did you guys like break the glass and Mazel Tov? Did you jump the broom? Did you throw sprinkles for pigeons, or what did you guys? How did you guys do it?
So are you asking the one unique thing we did, or do you mean kind of a lot of different?
No, I'm just saying what was the way? Did you jump the broom or did you break the glass?
We got a tree and combined our family soils from it. So her parent, each individual parent, her parents, my parents, and they put from their childhood homes, put their soil in the tree that we got.
That's pretty cute.
We have the tree and waiting on it to do stuff.
And that's what trees do. They do stuff.
They do stuff and don't care about the rest of us.
That tree's going to grow over the next 30 years, and then a storm is going to come through and it's going to crush your house.
Oh, that probably shows the strength of our love. The tree survived, and we can put it back. It's strong enough to tear down a house. That's our love.
I mean, or the opposite of that, it could be uprooted.
It could be uprooted. It's still here. It didn't go away. It stayed with us. Just into the house.
Well, the new format that we're doing here at Reality Breached Live is we have a few topics to talk about, and we're going to cover them all within the hour. Which see how that works.
Wait, Reality Breach is doing 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour.
Cross your fucking fingers.
Do we have a timer going that we can guarantee that at all?
Yeah, there's a little thing in the top left-hand corner that says live. We're at 7 minutes and 40 seconds right now.
Hey Siri, start a 45-minute timer.
Oh no,
it's not a bad idea.
Yes.
My HomePod Mini said there's nothing to do here.
Well, let's see. We have topics, and I figure since this is vaguely a nerd podcast, it's hard to define what Reality Breached really is, because it's very much about movies and video games and pop culture and whatever the hell we want it to be about. I think the most ubiquitous thing for us to start with in episode 1 is a shitload of Marvel stuff.
We got a shitload of Marvel stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Yep. Literally the entire gamut of stuff. We have a movie, we have a TV show, and we have a trailer to talk about. So let's just jump right into probably the most controversial of the three, and that is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That's not really controversial to me. I guess it depends on what you're pointing at. So I've heard people say the trailer versus what the movie was misleading. So I've seen that be a little controversy.
Which goes back to you guys text me and was like, hey, I guess we're going to talk about the She-Hulk trailer. And I was like, I guess I'll go watch the She-Hulk trailer because I don't watch trailers for this reason right here. This is the exact reason I don't watch trailers.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a misleading trailer.
The thing I've seen in terms of misleading is what it was overall about, not necessarily scenes being removed or added or whatever like that. Just the whole movie, you could assume it was something else, and then you go watch the movie, and that's not what it's about at all.
So no, that was Morbius.
No. You guys screwed up because I knew that movie was going to be shit.
Oh, I knew it was going to be shit too, but the trailer did not match the movie. I don't know if I can agree with that, Reed. The trailer said a very specific thing, and the movie was about that and nothing else.
I don't remember the trailer, and now I'll be so I'm saying that like I genuinely don't perfectly remember it, so I could be wrong. I don't remember the trailer suggesting at all Wanda's motives to I want my children back and I will murder this entire universe for it. I don't remember the trailer suggesting that in any way.
I don't. I kind of agree with Reed. I don't think it was placed in there that was going to be the case. But I kind of loved like the swing. I really thought that it was. I really thought this was going to be a follow up to the original Doctor Strange, where, what's his name, Shamar Moore from Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Reunion with the braids, decided that he was going to go after Strange.
I thought Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, I thought that was what the film was going to be about, but like
I would have thought he'd play more of a part in it too. Yeah.
But the moment that I saw Wanda and like, also spoiler alert if you guys,
yes,
yeah, like spoilers.
Yeah.
We have a comment that said Morbius is classic cinema.
It's classic bad cinema. If you want to say it.
Maybe in that a lot of old movies are shitty.
But when Wanda like turned that off and was like, the lie was what got me. Like I was so close, but the lie got me, and I was like, oh shit, like she's the villain, and I paired that up immediately with the Darkhold. Like I put those two things together, and I was like, dude, this is gonna be villain.
The scene swap. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, when she's talking to Strange and she's in this like the orchid, however you say that word, and it just changes and like they're in this like ruin, and I was like, oh, this is easily comparing it to WandaVision and her opening up the Darkhold. So once that happened, I was like, oh, this is villain straight up.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into my biggest complaint. Like as a standalone film, it was entertaining as fuck. Like I really enjoyed the story they told, the characters they slaughtered, and even like Wanda's demise. Like all of these things worked really well on screen, but I don't think it's a good sequel to Doctor Strange
or WandaVision, maybe.
But do you think
it's a fantastic sequel to WandaVision? I think.
Do you think it's a good sequel to the MCU?
No. I don't think it. I don't think it. It fits narratively in the MCU. I just don't think it fits and makes sense.
Does it only fit narratively because the word multiverse is said in the movie?
Maybe, or
and we've seen Loki, so
yeah. I feel like they promised us a multiverse movie and they gave us two universes and a really trippy sequence.
Oh, geez, did the trailer make you think that?
That it was about multiverses?
I don't know.
No, the fucking
trailer didn't do that.
The title,
the title did.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much madness in the multiverse. It was just Wanda being angry and two universes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a third one, but it doesn't matter. I can't remember, but it's definitely
there's the third one in the beginning.
Yeah, there's the first one. The first one is the third one.
Well, and even I guess that they're like in between the multiverses in that, like with the Defender Strange. I guess that's in the middle of them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a trip through a liquid universe, that's just a fancy, like that doesn't change the story.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, we saw this.
It's like, look, his face is cubes now.
Did we see Rhino?
Madness, guys.
Did we see Rhino in Spider-Man? No, we didn't.
Yeah,
we really didn't. We just saw a shadow of Rhino. But like, I brought this up to my friend Philip, who owns Offbeat at 151 Wesley Avenue, which is where we record.
8th anniversary.
Happy 8th anniversary to Offbeat. But I talked to him about it, and he was like, "How did you feel about it?" I was like, "First off, I love that Wanda movie because it's a Wanda film." And he was like, "No, it's a Doctor Strange film." And I was like, "No, dude, that's a Wanda movie."
More Wanda than Doctor Strange.
Yeah. He just happened to be the antagonist. That was all. And second, I was like, one of the reviews that I saw after I watched it, because of course, like I delete social media until I was going to see this film, and one of the things that I saw, it was like too much madness, not enough multiverse, and I was like, I kind of get that, and so I told it to Philip. He was like, "What else did you want?" And I was like, I don't know, dude. I think I was more excited about like seeing Tony Stark, because there were so many rumors out there, and this is why I should stay off the blogs. I stay off the blogs for Apple stuff. I should stay off the blogs.
I did see some. You're saying, was it like the Captain Marvel character when she's like flying through the debris in the trailer? Like that was supposed to be an Iron Man person?
Oh no, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, and yeah, that was just internet hearsay that only leads to sadness.
Yeah, there was like the possibility of Iron Man being in it, the possibility of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man being in it.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise was supposed to be Iron Man, and he was supposed to have the hologram head in the suit. So, but there was like so many speculations of it, and when I thought about it, I was like, maybe I wasn't really upset about the multiverse more. I was more upset that I didn't get Spider-Man again, because I always want Spider-Man. And he was like, who needs more Spider-Man? I was like, me. I fucking need more Spider-Man. I always want more Spider-Man. And I was thinking about it. I was like, and then it pissed me off, because I was like, okay, so then in Loki, they bring up this multiverse, and I'm like, okay, so we're here with the multiverse. We hear about the multiverse in the second Spider-Man, and then we see the multiverse in the third Spider-Man, and then we see Loki, and it was like all of this multiverse, and I'm like, oh my God, there's gonna be so much multiverse. And so it just, when I thought about the Tom Cruise being Tony Stark, or Tobey Maguire being Spider-Man, I was like, this all seems factual, because they're hyping it up so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of it.
I was definitely excited about it a lot too. Maybe this is more of an Attack of the Clones situation. Maybe it's more the title.
But Attack of the Clones was also Spider-Man No Way Home.
How do you mean?
Because it kind of sets up the whole idea of the multiverse, and then the Doctor Strange movie was supposed to be Revenge of the Sith, and we didn't get it. We did.
Man. Yeah. Well, okay. The last thing I want to touch on, we don't have too much more time to talk about this, but the Illuminati.
Lies.
What are your thoughts on the Illuminati? Reed, you go first.
I think it's cool. I guess so. I'm saying this really asterisk heavy, grain of salt heavy. I want to see what they're going to do with all this multiverse stuff in the long run, because the bad side of this is potentially it makes so many things not matter, because they can just take someone else from some other universe, and now that's the person we're going to follow. Like they've killed a Mr. Fantastic right now, so it doesn't matter, because they can just go get another one from somewhere else. And I'm not saying that's strictly bad. I'm saying I'm waiting with bated breath to see if it is, because I don't know, because nothing matters if they can just do that all the time.
Right.
Maybe, or at least they can play it that way for sure. So,
yeah.
But maybe that's not a clever way to do it, and it is okay, and it's not terrible, or doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, it's incredibly gutsy for them to leave the character America Chavez, was that her name?
Mm-hmm.
In play at the end of the movie. Like for her to just be hanging out on Earth with Doctor Strange.
Yeah. On top of, she's going to be a sorcerer of some level, so she's the only person who can travel the multiverse as it stands, and she's going to be a magic user. So like she's going to be probably a stout character if they wanted to play it up that way. But yeah, that's we hadn't talked about that. If leaving her alive effectively and her power on the table.
Yeah, not even like I'm fine leaving her alive, but they could have dropped her off in one of the many multiverses, because. And then maybe her show up 10 movies from now saying, "I finally figured it out, Doctor."
Right. Yeah, but she's hanging out with our universe. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, but they did that kind of with Captain Marvel. They were like, "Yeah, we don't have a story to talk about yet," and so then we bring in a movie that's from way back then, and then bring her in, and then see how that works. And people are like, "No."
Yeah. Alden, what about you, Illuminati?
So first, we have a comment that says it's like they did Spider-Man, Loki, WandaVision, and What If, and then Doctor Strange.
Do they mean in that order, or that's what this movie is? Like it's all those things combined?
It's like the order. I'm guessing that's what they mean, but it's like the order.
Okay. That is true because they shuffled around kind of because of the pandemic, right? Like America Chavez was supposed to be in No Way Home, but then they
I
shuffled.
did hear that. Yeah.
So,
I don't know about all that.
That does kind of track a little bit.
My thoughts about the Illuminati. I loved watching them all die. I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed watching them. Now,
some of the better parts.
Watching them come out and like the how they change it, because they're all like, we saw in Loki that every multiverse person isn't going to look the same. So I thought that was cool to get Rambo as Captain Marvel instead of Brie Larson's character. Or dude, so fucking cool to see that guy as Reed Richards.
Yeah,
like a fan picked him. It's the same thing as Ahsoka and in Star Wars. It's like this is fan made, and like we wanted it, and we finally got it. And then then they killed it. It was like, we gave you what you want, now fuck you. And I loved it.
No, fuck off. Yeah,
they could just as well keep him. That's kind of the thing. They could just as well keep him too.
I loved it. We don't know. They may keep him. They may not keep him. And I love that idea.
It's kind of brilliant because now they don't have to tell us until they actually announce the cast of Fantastic Four. But they literally can test the waters
and see what
murder the character, and also have their cake and eat it too.
And they did it with not just with Reed Richards, but they did it with Black Bolt, because they were like, hey, we put out this Inhumans movie, y'all didn't like that shit either. So how y'all feel about Black Bolt being back in here? And then they were like, oh, we kind of like that. And then Wanda said, what mouth? And my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that they took all of those characters off the board immediately. Loved it so much.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough character death in the MCU.
I agree. Yeah. There's not because we get so attached to these characters. The only one I stand by, and to this day, you guys did not. I don't know if you heard me talk about it. I don't know if we talked about Spider-Man at all, but I'll never watch Spider-Man again. That shit hurt. That shit broke my heart. I was like, this is the most pure Spider-Man, and to watch him go through all of this shit and they take everything away from him. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie.
Wow.
Fuck this movie. And then watching Doctor Strange, and it was like all the shit that he went through and none of it mattered. I hate you guys. I'll never watch Spider-Man again. I'll never watch the Spider-Man.
Are you saying you hate it and that you hate what you see, or it bothers you so much you just can't watch it again?
It bothers me. It bothers me so much that I can't watch it again. It's very much the Passion of the Christ. I've seen it once. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if Spider-Man No Way Home and the Passion of the Christ has ever been mentioned in the same sentence.
Well, today
congratulations. you did it.
I'll never watch that movie again.
One more thing I want to add before we move off from Doctor Strange is I really like the tone and the visuals of this movie, and saying like the deaths of the Illuminati, right? Them doing that. I'm really glad to see them at least do that. And I hope they move forward with that a little bit, and maybe they'll do this stuff more. Maybe not a ton, but just more. So it's nice to see it not be so tame, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see if they'll ever do something any more of this later.
Now we know how far Disney's going to go and be grotesque. I love it.
Like, I'm kind of more impressed that this is the first MCU movie where they let the director really show his DNA in the production, because this is a Sam Raimi ass movie.
Did you see the meme with the Trojan horse, and it was like Sam Raimi going into Disney with Evil Dead 4?
Yep.
I had seen that. That is good.
Yeah. Right. So I guess let's move on to our next topic. We're at 24 minutes. We're moving.
We are.
So raise your hand if you've watched Moon Knight. Okay, good. That was on the agenda, so Yeah.
Hope you
So
watched
Moon
it.
Knight is a Disney Plus television show, also set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starring 1, 2, 3 Oscar Isaacs. And he plays Moon Knight in his various personas. I have very mixed feelings about the Moon Knight TV show. Alden, I'm going to let you go first on this one. What are your thoughts?
I adored this show. You know how so many people are like, man, WandaVision is the best show. And I felt the same way. And then Moon Knight came out. And I was like, man, this fucking show is cool as hell. I love it. And what I love so much about it is because like I went into this completely blind. I had no idea about Moon Knight, none whatsoever. I knew that he was like the copycat of Batman. And that's as much as I knew about him. Going in and knowing that he had like DID, I had no idea about that at all until like I started seeing like that the personality change, and then I would go through and watch the YouTube channel Screen Crush, and I was like so excited each time Screen Crush would do a video and they would talk about it, and it was so much lore into this about like Egyptian culture and Egyptian gods and like how it was attached to like the Black Panther and like I loved it so much. I was so excited about each and every episode. Like I think of all the shows, and I think I told you guys this, WandaVision is, in my opinion, one of the best written shows that Disney Plus has done so far.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye is the most fun show I think that they've put out. In my opinion, I think Moon Knight is both. I think it's well written and I think it's fun as hell. And like for a lot of it, I was that first episode, I was confused as hell. And I went and I watched that Screen Crush video and I was like, okay, so this all makes sense. And then I watched the episode again and I was like, okay, now this really makes sense. And I was so into it. I was so into it. I loved it so much. And then Oscar Isaac's hot. Just Oscar Isaac's hot. He's very hot.
That seems to be like a universal opinion.
Absolutely, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And he knows it. He knows that the queer community wants him too.
Yeah, like Moon Knight did a really good job of trickling out the details in a fashion that made it very digestible, because it was only 6 episodes. They had to walk you through a lot of shit, both on the DID side and on the Egyptian side. There were a couple of times where they did an info dump on Egyptian shit that it just went right over my head. I did not give a fuck. I'm like, avatars? What? Oh, okay, whatever, fine. Just keep going, and I think that's why I have mixed feelings on it, is the Egyptian stuff did not hit me at all. Like when I saw Black Panther, like the African stuff hit me real hard. This Egyptian stuff just seemed like window dressing in a lot of spots, and it wasn't nearly as compelling as what was going on in Moon Knight's head.
Yeah,
with
the individual personalities. Let's roll into Reed. Reed, what do you have to add to this?
I see this series as something you need to rewatch once you have the Asylum episode. That's kind of the thing, and I haven't gone back to watch it yet, so it's real grain of salt when I say some of this. I wonder how it functions on a rewatch, because I did like originally how they're trickling the stuff out, like you said, but then once you know that Steven is the original person, Mark's the original person, and Steven is the created one, I was confused as to whether did Steven not know? Did Mark not know? Did they not know about each other? Did Mark know about Steven the whole time from when he was a little kid through his trauma? That's something I don't know if they clearly answered, and on a rewatch maybe comes off different, since you started over and who these characters are and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't know each other at all from the beginning, though. It seems like
they really don't. And this goes into the disease or the personality traits of DID,
Mhm.
which is, dude, not only did I learn about Egyptian culture and like the gods, but I also learned a lot about DID, dissociated identity disorder. And in that moment, so when you see him lose that love from his mom, and like his mom like tries to beat him
Yeah.
and tries to beat him, he
Mhm.
creates this person in his head, and in his mind Mark is not there anymore, and it's no one but Steven. And so he, in his head, he has created it, but Mark's not there anymore. So those moments where he blacks out, he's literally blacking out. He knows no one. That is a complete character has come into play at that point. So he knew that he existed and he knew why he created him, but he wasn't there. He knew nothing about what Steven did. And then he talks about, in a moment, he was like, there's a veil where that veil got really thin. And he said, and then for some reason, there was no veil.
Yeah.
And I do get some of that from Steven and Mark themselves. I still feel like we're introduced like we don't know anything. I still feel like the way they, one or both, talk to each other, one, at least Mark knows about him, I would think. Maybe not everything about who he is as a person, just his existence, but the way he talks to him. But I need to rewatch it. Maybe it comes out better if I rewatch it. That more the part is he does this when he's like what, 12, I think, right? 10?
Yeah,
Somewhere in his teens.
yeah, he's like
So,
he's like 10 or 11. He's pretty young.
So everyone around him should know about it, or enough people around him should know about it because they see it. At least his parents, right? Fuck his mom, whatever. But you would think his dad would see it. Some other friend would see it. Like, I don't know. It just, again, I need to rewatch it and see and get my thoughts on it. But in my playing it out in my head, it just feels, on a rewatch, it feels like it would be a little strange to watch, or there's a disconnect because they're trying to keep it hidden from us. But if you rewatch it and then it comes off differently. I'm not sure, so I'm real interested to watch it again.
This is a moment to step outside of yourself and learn someone else.
Yeah, and the story they told with Mark is heartbreaking.
It is.
And the moment in, I believe it was episode 5, when they reveal that it was the mother who disowned him and treated him like shit. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that moment, Mark was figuring it out himself. Like, like he knew there's these two dudes, but as soon as he saw the moments from his past played out in front of him, and the anxiety started to creep up on him. He saw, so Steven is the receipt from all of these things that I went through. And that's why he felt he had to protect Steven from those moments, because that is his escape. His subconscious escape. Yeah. And it says a lot that the show was as good as it is, considering there's very little Moon Knight.
Yeah, there's very little Moon Knight. There's a lot of Steven and Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one, like the final episode, I felt like they're just like, we got to get some Moon Knight in here or someone's going to bitch.
Yeah. And so I wouldn't have complained. A single bit. I wouldn't have complained a single bit.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way too. We have to have another CG final episode of things happening. Like, do we, given what this whole series is about, do we have to have that?
It's still an MCU show.
Yeah, it's still an MCU show. We have to have it.
It's required. It's
They'll figure out they don't have to have it sooner or later. I trust them. I believe in them.
I mean, they gave us Reed Richards and what's his name as Reed Richards, so they're definitely listening. And a lot of people are saying that, hey, dog, we're tired of the CGI big bad fights at the end.
Yeah.
Speaking of let's talk about this Scarlet Scarab. Is that who she is?
Yes,
Layla, I think was her.
Oh. She looked cool. Her outfit was really cool looking to me.
Her outfit was cool, but this is another kind of complaint that I have about Marvel stuff is, Act 3 pops in or the final episode pops up and suddenly everyone's a fucking superhero.
It does feel like she's going to get her own series sooner or later.
And like every single main character. Oh, look at this. Look, Agatha, she's a witch. Oh, shit. Look at this. Oh, no. America Chavez figured out her power in the very last moment. Like, and it just keeps happening over and over and over. So, and the Layla character was interesting because of how her story weaved in and out with Marks and Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was like, and when she was like, fine, I'll be your avatar, I was like, no, no, have you learned nothing?
I actually agree. Layla being the Scarlet Scarab was probably my least favorite part of the show. But I know that they're preparing for her to be because Scarlet Scarab goes into being kind of a villain, apparently, from what I've read, is that she's kind of a villain, and it's actually not Layla. It's actually another person that is, and they just kind of created this. And I do agree that I don't think they should have done it. I don't think they should have done it at all. If they were going to do any of what is possible, I love the fact that Khonshu could become like not only just a villain, but like or as RuPaul would say, the inner saboteur. like completely takes Jake Lockley and Jake Lockley becomes the villain, like the big villain, instead of like the Scarlet Scarab or his like kid brother coming back, because his kid brother does come back as like a villain in the comics, apparently.
Yeah, and I am more excited about where this story is going, assuming they have a season 2. I don't think they've even announced a season 2 yet. I'm probably more excited about this than I am season 2 of Loki. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But now that I know that Loki is not bleeding into the movies as directly as I wanted it to, that might be different. I might actually really want Loki to kick ass in season 2. But I don't know. I definitely want more Moon Knight.
Yeah, for sure. And as we were like starting this, I was like, I need to think about like how they're gonna tie in Moon Knight into the rest of this like universe. And I have, other than the fact that Blade is a character and Black Knight is a character, I have literally no idea how they're gonna bring Moon Knight into this. I mean, they could possibly do the Midnight Suns, but then you just have Moon Knight, Blade, and Black Knight. That's it. And Doctor Strange. Sick. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Moon Knight showed up in the Blade movie.
Maybe.
Like, there's potential, but I kind of don't want it to happen. Just let it be Moon Knight for a while.
Yeah, I just want it to be Moon Knight. I really just want it to be Moon Knight. Like, give me the Daredevil series of Moon Knight. Just like Moon Knight.
Okay.
And then put him in, like, let him do little cameos, like at the end of like the big fight or the secret war that we'll probably get, and like let Moon Knight show up just for a little cameo, and then that'd be about it. And then he goes back to his Disney Plus show. I'd be okay with that. Like, I'd be fine with that.
Moon Knight would be fun in a Daredevil, or not Daredevil, in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. That'd actually be pretty funny to see how they could really play with that.
Final thoughts on Moon Knight, the television show.
Reed.
I think still I'm really interested to rewatch the show after having seen the twist, kind of like a Shutter Island sort of movie. See how it plays out and knowing everything up front. Kind of sort of similar with like No Way Home. Some of that movie is definitely played for seeing it the first time. That's when it's going to be the best. Seeing it a second time is a little down because, they have those pauses when each Spider-Man comes through. That's clearly when people are supposed to applaud. But you've seen it now and you're not seeing it in theater. So it'll be interesting to see, knowing the twists and turns.
Yeah. Alden?
It is my favorite Disney Plus series so far.
Wow.
Hands down. I stand by it. As it's just fun. It's just fun as hell. I learned a lot. I went and researched a lot. I just felt like I was diving into something that I had no idea about. And I saw the face that you gave me, Reed. I was like, sometimes this is a moment to step outside of yourself and learn something about someone else, because like I know that this is a thing, and I really learned not about just a character, about like something that I could take with me, and that was the whole idea of DID. Like,
I just didn't know what you were pointing at, what you were saying it about when I made that face.
no, I'm saying the disease of DID. Like that's something that I learned about, and that was me stepping outside of myself and learning something about someone else.
Yeah. And actually, my final thoughts are going to lean into that as well. Like how we've been doing Marvel movies since what, the year 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 some odd years that someone could have licensed Moon Knight and fucked this up. Mm-hmm. And no one did.
No one did.
And luckily it took place. Luckily they finally made the show during an era where we're talking more about mental health. And when we're putting it in stories, we're doing it in a more realistic and respectable manner. And I feel like this show did a really good job of saying, this is what this actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about that kid that watched Guardians of the Galaxy that had autism, and he's like, Drax is me. I'm Drax. Like, there's a character that looks like me. And that's why so many people were like really ecstatic about seeing Black Panther. It was like, there's a black girl on screen with braids. That's a superhero. Like, I love that. That girl is me. Representation matters.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, had this movie been made in 2003, it would have been a shit show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just straight up Daredevil, Ben Affleck, bad.
Whoa, calm down. I like that movie. It's not good. I like that.
It's not good. Is Daredevil your Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
I think it might be. It's one of my Mortal Kombat's annihilations.
I definitely did appreciate it for that. I liked the representation of the DID. It is cool to see, and the way they play it up is, since I didn't say anything really about that, it's equally entertaining and informative, just creates these really interesting shots, really interesting sequences, like the action sequences in the ice cream truck when they're in that, I think it's the first or second episode.
The ice cream truck is the first.
Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely good that they did that, and they did seem to do it well for what little I understand about it.
The last thing I'll say that I really enjoyed about that show is we talked about how they just kind of placed everything so strategically. And I love the fact that when we get to the end, that third personality that we see wasn't the first time we've seen it. We see that third personality before we even see Mark Spector. Like, we see Jake Lockley. He is the person that kills those people in that ice cream truck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like, we see Jake Lockley the entire series. He's the person that punches Steven in the face when they're going down that tunnel. Like, there are so many moments that we saw Jake Lockley and we just kind of were like, oh, well, maybe that was like Mark and Steven. But nope, there's a lot of Jake in that series. And then we finally get to actually see him in that last scene. And I love the fact that they did it so strategically, and it didn't feel campy.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what they say about that later. Like, how long has he ever had control? It'll be interesting to find out about that personality and the origins of it and all that kind of stuff, given what they did with Steven's creation. So it'll be neat to see where Jake came from. Maybe he came from where Mark was with the other mercenary and killed Layla's dad.
That's what Jake is. Jake is everything that is bad about Mark. Steven represents everything that is good about Mark, and Jake represents everything that is bad.
So maybe Jake manifested out of the hatred that his mother has for Mark.
I think so. I think so. But that if you pay attention to like one of the scenes where they're having that fight on a rooftop, and it's actually Mark, and they're fighting those people, and Mark looks at that kid and he's holding him by his shirt, and
Yeah,
he takes
yeah.
his hand and he slaps him. And
Yeah.
but then like he blacks out, and then all of a sudden that kid is dead.
Yeah, that's the first
Mhm.
time I recognized maybe Jake or something because I think I can't remember if either one of them claimed. I think they talked about it and both of them denied doing it. I can't remember.
Jake. So watching that Screen Crush, Reed, do me a favor. After each of those episodes, watch the Screen Crush, like the
Yeah,
Easter egg ones, because it's not really Easter egg. It's more like him explaining the stuff.
yeah, I
But
usually watch those. I just didn't happen to do it for Moon Knight. I didn't want to
it
know
was
that
so good.
during the thing. I wanted to be as surprised as I could be, not knowing anything about the character for once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that.
he does a really great job of it.
Yeah, yeah, I like
Jeez,
that. Yeah.
jeez. I'm fine with you plugging Dead Scene Kids on here, but don't plug someone else's YouTube.
It's
page.
fun, dude. It was fun.
It was good. It was definitely good.
All right. Well, speaking of YouTube videos, what dropped today was the trailer for She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Is that how it's branded?
I
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks fun.
It does.
It looks a lot of fun. It's
does.
cool to see the Hulk in just a TV show.
Because we'll
As-
never get a film.
Yeah, we're never going to get a Hulk film, and that's Universal's fault.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your first thoughts?
Okay. I was thinking, oh, this is cute. This is fun. I hope this is actually a court procedural. You know, I really hope that they lean heavily into like the law and order side of this, because that's one thing that the MCU hasn't had is a law show.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, when she picks up that dude, I was like, whoa, this has some real like Lady Dimitrescu. Like, is that how you say your name from
Who?
Resident Evil Village? The
I
big
don't-
lady from Resident Evil Village.
I don't even know her name. Yeah.
I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about now. Yeah.
I know who
was
you
like-
mean. Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, it's gonna be this kind of show, huh? Yeah. And that being the very last like sequence, I was excited in a different way. It was weird. It's real weird.
You're
Learned something
turned
about
on. You didn't
myself.
even know it.
Yeah.
It's like, am I into big women?
Am I? Like, when does this show debut?
Yeah, I guess Dimitrescu, like you said. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Lady Dimitrescu. Yeah, something like that.
No.
What about you, Reed?
I swear to God, if that show has a giant CG fight battle at the end of it, I'm going to call foul.
I'm going to go
Why?
ahead and tell you now. It's going to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be there.
You have two giant green characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call
Somebody's
foul.
gonna be a kaiju.
Somebody's going to be a kaiju.
There was no reason for Khonshu to be a kaiju, but like they were like kaiju.
Yeah, there's really not. They really don't have to have all those gods be, 12 feet tall and yeah, they really don't. I really dug Khonshu though, and his persona and his look was super cool. But yeah, I hadn't we hadn't talked about that. But yeah, he didn't have to be 12 feet tall. He didn't.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. She-Hulk is gonna be a kaiju.
Mhm.
Third episode, I'm calling it.
I agree with you that hopefully this is more of a drama or a procedural. Like, of course, she's out there doing She-Hulky things or whatever and learning about herself from Hulk. But I really hope there's not just a end of the MCU Hulk movie and fighting Abomination in the fucking streets. I really just hope that's not there. I really will hate to see that if that's what it boils down to. But then
Guaranteed.
take it to the courthouse just in time.
It's
to-
it's guaranteed, man. It's guaranteed.
I'm gonna hate that. That sounds so terrible.
So what I'm hearing is what you want it to be is basically Better Call She-Hulk.
Yeah. Of sorts. She can definitely go out there and be She-Hulk, stop crime, do things, and all that. But I really hope the final confrontation is not big CGI battle. I really just hope it's not that.
You want it to be legally green.
Oh, yeah. I just really hope it's not that. I want there to be the fights with the characters. just not the final confrontation.
The thing is if they do have the guts to do that, to actually have the last sequence be like a courtroom scene,
sure. Yeah,
the entire internet is going to shit themselves and say it's boring.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they can't win. They can't win.
No, they can't. But it's whatever. I mean, I just would like to see it that way myself personally.
What about you, Alden?
We have a comment that says giant poodle CGI battle at the end.
Oh my god.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not, huh?
I'm really once again, I know nothing about She-Hulk, other than the fact that she's gamma green, dog. That's it. I know that she has ties to Hulk. I know that she's a fucking lawyer. I heard that she's badass. I heard that Mark Murdock is gonna be in it. Matt Murdock is gonna be in it. That's
Mark Murdock, his brother.
Murdock. No, I heard that Matt Murdock is going to be in it. I don't know. At this point, you know what they did with me was Doctor Strange. So at this point, anything goes. They tell me one thing, show me another.
Oh, well, they had him in No Way Home in this little lawyer moment, so maybe he'd be in this. Yeah,
it's supposed that the rumor is that we might get Matt in this, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just really excited to see Mark Ruffalo because, just like Oscar Isaac, hot.
See, I don't get that from Mark Ruffalo. I get that from a lot of the characters.
If I had to choose between Oscar Isaac and Mark Ruffalo, it would be Mark Ruffalo every day.
Oh
yeah, big crush on Mark Ruffalo.
I would not. I feel like Oscar Isaac's more. Maybe he's more classically attractive compared to Mark Ruffalo. Maybe that's.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, Oscar. Yeah, that is definitely weird. Oscar Isaac is definitely. Appears more attractive to me in my head maybe I need to look at them side by side.
You don't do that. Don't do that for me.
I got to do my research.
Don't do that for me. I did it already.
I would not have thought that.
Yeah, I have no quarrels. My only issue with the trailer, and I was on the phone with my boyfriend, and I was like, I mean, dude, she kind of looks unfinished.
Oh, CG wise?
Yeah, CG wise, she kind of looks unfinished. And then I look at Bruce, and I'm like, he looks great. She kind of looks. She looks like she's sitting on a screen where he looks like he's implemented. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it does.
I'll look at that. I didn't pay attention to
that. And maybe that's just what they put together for the trailer. It's very possible that they still have work to do.
Yeah, that's possible. But that was my only quarrel with it. I was like, this looks like it's gonna be fun, especially like you said, when she picked up that guy, I was like, oh.
Is this gonna be?
Do you want to split some fries? Let's get them to go.
Obviously, she's big green lady, but is this gonna be a Jessica Jones-esque thing? She's just a lawyer instead of a PI. Because Jessica Jones had super strength too, right? I never saw that whole series.
Yes,
but she also wasn't green. So,
well,
she was white.
Accept that. You say she's green, she's gonna get scared off, scare people off. I think this world's more accustomed to that. I don't know how.
Yeah, her friends were down for it. Just, you look great.
Yeah,
you look fantastic. I was like, I'm here for it.
What I'll be, that actually puts up one last thing I'd like to say on this is, depending on how they implement the X-Men in this, I wonder how they're going to play the mutant hate, the racism, bigotry, that type stuff that's been in the comics or in the old animated series. People just hate mutants because they're mutants. I wonder if they're going to even play that angle, given that this universe has enough. You got your Hulks, you have your different characters that people are probably accustomed to, that they wouldn't just look at mutants that way. I wonder if they would play that card if they ever did mutants. In 616, if they did it that way, they can come from a universe that isn't the same and it does have all that stuff, so they could still play it that way.
Yeah, I think we're still several years away from the mutants being introduced, so I don't see it being an issue yet. I think this would be more like the Sokovia Accords,
I agree.
Like how do
Registration.
how do those accords get handled in the court system?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that would be,
we need to take Wanda to court because of all the shit that she did.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that might be interesting. Something they bring up in whatever 2 years, and after enough stuff's played out. It's like, remember the Sokovia Accords? Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Bring that out.
We got
all this stuff.
We got two comments. The first one is She-Hulk and Jessica Jones are very different characters. And then the second one is, and this is why we ain't getting no X-Men anytime soon.
True. Yeah. Well, guys, we are running short on time, so let's jump to our last segment here. What's coming? I figured since we're going to be doing these shows on a regular cadence, and we kind of have an idea of what we're going to cover, we're going to give our listeners an idea of what the next episode might be about. So since these episodes are going to come out every 2 weeks, there are a few things that are being released oh, wait a minute. Cancel. Okay, sorry. My screen did something weird. That are released and or end in the next 2 weeks. It's not necessarily what we're guaranteed to talk about, but it gives you something to watch with us. That way you'll be prepared for next week. So here's my list. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Top Gun Maverick. Huh? I know, Reed, that's on your radar.
It's definitely on my radar, especially after watching the original now again.
Yeah. We also have the 3rd volume of Love, Death, and Robots.
I'll have to watch all of that if I ever talk about it.
Alden, are you familiar with Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix?
I know that the animation changes every episode.
It does, and it very frequently treads in some pretty fucked up areas, so it's right up my alley. So, Love, Death, and Robots, Volume 3.
Okay.
What else do we have? Obi-Wan, that will have debuted.
Yay!
I think we're getting 2 episodes on the release night, so we will be able to talk about 2 episodes, assuming we want to. And finally, the last thing on my list here is Atlanta. Atlanta ends this week, and so we can talk about the entire season next week, should we choose to. And of course, that is the Donald Glover led comedy show on FX.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like throw in sci-fi this season.
It kind of is, yeah.
Throw in sci-fi.
I forgot how much I fucking love Atlanta. It's better than like 90% of television. Without a doubt.
Yep, I agree. We got a couple more comments. Kevin Feige hates mutants. Sounds like Sergio is coming with the She-Hulk trailer.
Oh my goodness.
And I like Lady Gaga. What does she know about planes? I don't know what that one is.
I have no idea what that means.
I feel like he might have been watching 2 streams at once. And put the comment on the wrong one. Thanks, Hunter. Let's plug. We got a minute to plug your so Alden, go plug yourself.
This is my Instagram and my Twitter is Alden's Manor. You can find me there. You can also listen to me and Hunter or Huntre on the Dead Scene Kids podcast, which can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can get podcasts. I think we're on Pandora now.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Pandora.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga does do the Top Gun song.
The Top Gun song. That's right. What did she do?
I apologize. Yes, it's a great song too. I feel like Lady Gaga has like a second career that's about to happen, where she just goes full Celine Dion and just sings a bunch of songs for movies.
I feel that. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. Find me at more shows this year because we have them again. I'm going to see MCR. I'm going to say that every time I stream. I'm going to see MCR.
Me too. Reed, what are you plugging, if anything?
I'll just continue to plug Reality Breach and our old content. Sergio and I did a James Bond movie series called
Debriefing and cocktails.
Debriefing and cocktails. I knew the cocktail part, but
your podcast.
I just could not remember the debriefing part. I knew it was something in cocktails. I was like, what was the first word? It's been a while. Debriefing and cocktails, where we went through all the James Bond movies, and we may do a second season of that. Just kind of playing it by ear right now. Otherwise, social media wise, I don't really do too much of social media. You can find me on Facebook under Reed Walker. That's about the only thing I have that I pay any attention to. So otherwise, you can check out Dead Scene Kids, like Alden said, and whatever Sergio said, and Discussing Who and the whole Discussing Network by Clarence Brown and his group of peoples. They're good peoples.
They are good peoples. Well, I'm gonna say thank you to you, Alden, for being here today. Reed Walker, thank you for being here today. I want to thank Daniel Key for providing our music today. And I thank everyone who watched and everyone who will hear this and or watch this in the coming days and weeks. Tune in. We're going to be back in 2 weeks. That means May 31st. Same time, same channel. Who knows? We may not have that StreamYard bug next time. Who knows? I don't know. But I like how this went. I feel like our first episode back was a huge success. Tune in next time. I'm Sergio. Follow Reality Breached on all the stuff. And
wait,
bye.
Sergio. Wait. What about Shellheads?
Oh, Shellheads is fine. It'll do fine. I'm going to plug this on Shellheads. So,
yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.